Imagine waking up on a cold morning in 313 AD. You are a Christian, and for generations this has meant living in fear and secrecy. Your faith is whispered in hidden rooms, every knock on the door a threat. The Roman Empire sees your beliefs as dangerous, your refusal to honor its gods, a crime. Discovery could mean losing your home, your job, your life. Then, everything changes. A rumor spreads from Milan. The emperors, Constantine and Licinius, have issued a proclamation. All people are now free to worship any god they choose. This is not a local truce, but a law for the entire empire. The fear that shadowed your life begins to lift. It feels like the sun rising after a long dark night. Your sacred texts, once burned, are now safe. Your places of worship, once destroyed, will be returned. You can gather openly, speak of your faith without fear. What was once a crime is now a protected right. For the first time, you imagine a future for your children without hiding. The Edict of Milan has changed not just a law, but the course of history. People gather in the streets, not in secret, but in celebration. The whispers have become songs. Hidden symbols are now displayed with pride. For Christians in 313, this is more than politics. It feels like a miracle. The world has turned upside down, or perhaps finally, right side up. The fear that defined your existence is replaced by hope. And it all began with a decision made by an emperor on his own strange journey. The dawn of a new era has arrived. The world you knew yesterday is gone. The future, for the first time, is open. To understand this change, we must look at the world Christians lived in. The Roman Empire was vast but unstable, plagued by invasions, economic collapse, and political chaos. Emperors rose and fell by the sword, and civil wars tore the empire apart. In times of crisis, people looked for scapegoats. Christians became the target. Romans believed their gods protected the state, and Christians' refusal to honor them was seen as betrayal. This led to waves of persecution, starting with Emperor Decius in 250 AD. Who demanded sacrifices to the gods. Christians who refused faced arrest, torture, and death. The Great Persecution under Diocletian in 303 AD was the harshest, aiming to wipe out the faith. Churches were destroyed, scriptures burned, and Christians purged from public life. This was the world Constantine was born into, a world where faith was a matter of state security. Christians were outsiders, blamed for the empire's troubles. Their refusal to conform was seen as rebellion. In this climate of fear and division, a new emperor would rise and change everything. The stage was set for transformation. Constantine was born around 272 AD in Naissus, son of a rising military officer and a woman of humble origins. Raised in the Roman army's world of discipline and ambition, he learned that power was seized, not given. As a youth, he was a political hostage at the imperial court, learning the arts of war and rule. Diocletian's tetrarchy divided the empire among 4 rulers, but succession was never stable. When Constantine's father died in Britain, the troops proclaimed Constantine emperor, defying the official order. This sparked civil wars and the collapse of the tetrarchy. Constantine proved himself a brilliant general and politician, consolidating power in Britain and Gaul. His main rival was Maxentius, who controlled Italy and defended the old pagan traditions. The fate of the empire would be decided by a battle between these two men. It was not just a fight for power, but for the soul of Rome. The coming clash would change everything. Constantine's ambition and vision set him apart. The empire's future hung in the balance. In 312, Constantine marched south to confront Maxentius, outnumbered but determined. The decisive battle would be at the Milvian Bridge, outside Rome. On the eve of battle, Constantine reportedly saw a cross of light in the sky with the words, "In this sign, conquer." That night he dreamed Christ told him to use this sign for protection. Constantine ordered his soldiers to paint the Chi-Rho, a Christian symbol, on their shields. Most of his army were pagans, but they obeyed. The next day, battle erupted. Maxentius, leaving Rome's safety, met Constantine in open combat. Constantine's troops, inspired by their new symbol, pushed Maxentius's forces back. In the chaos, Maxentius drowned in the Tiber. Constantine entered Rome as the undisputed ruler of the West. He credited his victory not to the old gods, but to the Christian God. This moment marked a turning point for both Constantine and the empire. The cross had become a symbol of power. The world would never be the same. After his victory, Constantine met Licinius in Milan to form an alliance and end civil war. Together, they issued the Edict of Milan, a landmark declaration of religious freedom. It did not make Christianity the official religion, but granted everyone the right to worship as they chose. The edict ended persecution of Christians and ordered the return of confiscated property. It was a radical statement of tolerance in an age of religious conflict. The state would even compensate those who had bought Christian property. For the first time, faith was a matter of personal conscience, not citizenship. The emperors hoped religious peace would bring political stability. For millions of Christians, the effects were miraculous. The age of fear was over. The edict was sent across the empire to be enacted without delay. It was a restoration, not just an apology. The Roman world had changed overnight. The future of faith was now open. The Edict of Milan transformed daily life for Christians. No longer forced into secrecy, believers could worship openly and build churches. Basilicas rose across the empire. Bold statements that Christianity was here to stay. Christians, once marginalized, gained new social status and opportunities. Constantine favored Christians in government and administration. Bishops became public figures, settling disputes and advising the emperor. Conversion was no longer a risk, but a path to advancement. Christian art and thought flourished, with symbols like the Chi appearing everywhere. Theologians could now debate openly, shaping the faith's identity. The church emerged from the shadows, ready to shape the world. The faith that survived persecution now thrived in the sunlight. A new era had begun. Who was Constantine, the emperor who changed everything? He credited his victory to the Christian God, but his faith was complex. For years, he used both pagan and Christian symbols, and kept the title of Pontifex Maximus. Constantine saw Christianity as a source of unity and order for his empire. He called the Council of Nicaea to resolve disputes, not as a theologian, but as a ruler seeking stability. He was baptized only on his deathbed, a common practice to ensure forgiveness of sins. His mother Helena became a devout Christian and a major patron of the faith. She made a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, sponsoring churches at key Christian sites. Through her, Christianity gained a physical presence in the world. Constantine's faith was evolving, shaped by politics and personal conviction. His legacy would shape Christianity for centuries. The Edict of Milan was just the beginning. Within decades, Christianity became the empire's dominant faith. The persecuted became powerful, and the church gained wealth and influence. Bishops became political leaders. Christian values shaped laws and culture. The classical world gave way to a new Christian civilization. The alliance of church and state defined Europe for 1,000 years. This brought both stability and new challenges. The Edict of Milan enshrined religious freedom in law, changing history's course. It reminds us that history is shaped by choices, battles, and visions. A whisper of faith became a voice that echoes through the centuries. The world was remade by a single act of courage and conviction. The dawn that began in 313 still shapes our world today.